On a more personal note, how are your clients doing? Do they feel this vindication? Do they wish this never happened? Are they happy about the price?
They definitely wish this never happened. I think either one of them in a heartbeat would trade the vindication and whatever money they see out of this, would trade all of that to be able to go back to the lives that they had before December of 2020. No question. Their lives have been completely upended. They don't get to have the lives that they chose for themselves, that they built for themselves anymore. Those have been taken from them. There's no doubt that they would go back, if they could go back in time to before December of 2020 and continue to lead the lives that they were living, they would do that for certain. That said, they do feel vindication and validation from the jury's verdict. They do feel heard, and they got an opportunity to litigate this case. When you litigate a defamation case, one of the defenses to it is substantial truth. So the defendant can come in and defend the action and say, I'm not liable to you because what I said was true. And they have incredible powers given to them in doing that. And they can subpoena, they can issue subpoenas to third parties. They can put your clients on the stand under oath and ask them questions at depositions. And so for somebody who, claims that what they're saying is true, they have a lot of opportunity to prove it, right? To show up in court and prove it and provide documents and unearth the evidence and put it all out there in the record. And then the court or the jury can decide whether the person's statements were supported by the record. And so part of why our clients feel such vindication through this is that there was none of that. At no point, Mr. Giuliani has been out saying he didn't have a chance to present any evidence. That's just a total fabrication. Throughout the entire discovery process, he had subpoena power. He could have issued subpoenas. He could have deposed our clients and put them on the stand under oath. He could have subpoenaed evidence from State Farm Arena, from Georgia election officials. He could have brought in people he claims were eyewitnesses that he claims exist. He could have brought forward the video evidence that he says exists of our clients, according to him, passing around USB drives. Any of that, he could have used subpoena power to acquire the evidence, bring it into court, and prove that what he said was true. He brought nothing into evidence. He chose not to participate. He defaulted. He didn't turn over documents, and that's led us to where we are. So long story short, I think our clients feel a vindication and validation that they were able to tell their story. They were able to tell it publicly. They did so under oath. They did so, under cross-examination from Mr. Giuliani's attorney, and the jury sided with them.
Can you bring us into the courtroom? What was it like with you, Shaye Moss, Ruby Freeman, in the same room as Rudy Giuliani?
And I should say it wasn't just me. It was, me and my co-counsel, both from Wilkie Farr, but also from Von DuBose from DuBose Miller, and John Langford from Protect Democracy. Had a great team that litigated this case from the start. So it was not me by myself. But it was at times surreal because Mr. Giuliani was in the courtroom with his spokesman or assistant or Ted, I'm not sure exactly what his title is, but Ted Goodman was there with Mr. Giuliani, and they were, while the proceedings were going on, they were actively planning out their sort of nighttime media strategy and what shows they were going to go on and what they were going to go say to the cameras afterwards. So we were sort of watching, a trial that was underway with witnesses coming to the stand under oath and putting evidence forward, and then watching sort of a communications or media strategy taking shape in the courtroom that would then be executed that night when we all left. So it was a little strange. I think that's the first time that Mr. Giuliani has been in the same room as Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss, and so I think there was some power in that for our clients, in the sense that they were in the same room and Mr. Giuliani had to sit and listen to the testimony of both our clients about what happened to them, but also the Georgia election officials who explained why everything Mr. Giuliani and his co-conspirators had been saying about our clients was false. So I think there were some powerful moments throughout the week of where witnesses would come in and testify and explain exactly why what had been said about our clients was false. And so I think that was important in terms of creating a historical record of what occurred in December of 2020.